Hey guys, my name's Ed and this is another short video. Today I wanted to show you my bedroom setup. This is in response to a couple of other YouTubers that have recently kind of done a video of their gaming setup in their either their bedrooms or their spare rooms. So I thought I'd just do you a quick video of what I have in my bedroom. I'm very lucky. I have a very supportive wife who doesn't mind me stuffing the room full of CRTs. I'm just going to walk around and show you some of the systems that I've got set up at the moment, and a quick look at the bookcase where the majority of my games are held. I do have some other consoles that I keep in the front room, but I'll do another video on that another day. So stay tuned and enjoy this quick walkthrough. So starting over here, this is my Sony Trinitron Sony Vega CRT, which I picked up for I think 30 bucks. You can see me in the reflection there. This is what I plug in a lot of my older consoles. Right now this is, I've got running here 1945 on the PlayStation 2. I picked up this game recently actually, mostly because Metal Jesus Rocks did a video on some PS2 hidden gems, and I didn't even realize that this game, this shoot 'em up, was available. And I had a quick look on eBay and it was a reasonable price, unlike some of the other hidden gems which skyrocketed. This one was only less than 10 bucks Australian, so not very expensive at all. And it's I was playing it a little bit earlier this morning, and it's actually a heap of fun. It's pretty simple, but it's really cool and kind of reminds me of the old arcade games. Got a bit of an SNK feel. I like it. I like the old CRTs for their scan lines and just for looking pretty cool. This one's got a little bit of geometry problems. I need to go into the service menu and sort that out, but for the moment I plug in my Xbox, plug in my Wii, whatever I need that is either component or composite goes into this, and it's pretty good for the SD content. So anyway, this is my main TV. It's a bit of a monster. Weighed about 30 kilos or something like that, so it was pretty painful to bring in all by myself. So if anybody else is thinking of getting these old CRTs, make sure you don't break your back. So moving over to my PC desk, here's my 486, which is running just a demo shareware version of Jazz Jackrabbit right now. So I've done a video on this one, so you can track back through my videos and have a look at this. I love this little machine. I upgraded it to a 486 DX266, and it runs pretty nicely. I do have an external CD-ROM drive to get content onto there. I don't network this one, and I have a little joystick for it too. Moving on over here, so this here is, you can't really see it too well, but this is, let's get back into Quake. Running a demo of Quake here. This is my daily driver retro PC really. So this one is this one here. So this is a Pentium 3. I haven't done a video on this one, but I really should. It has a Riva TNT 32 megabyte card in it. It's really great as a Pentium 3. Can run the majority of the games that I'm really interested in collecting for the PC, from the mid 90s to about the late 90s, so that's really cool. And this one here is not connected yet, but this is an interesting machine I picked up for 5 bucks from a flea market. This has a Cyrix 200 MX inside, and it's quite interesting because it has a sticker on the bottom and it shows that in a previous life this was actually a 386. So when I picked it up for first, I was really excited because I thought it was a 386. When I got home and turned it on, it was actually a Cyrix 200. So it's kind of like one of the original sleeper PCs from the late 90s. The only problem with this one at the moment is I'm having a few problems with it. I don't know if it's got motherboard issues or something else. All I've managed to get working on this is actually Jazz Jackrabbit and FreeDOS. I haven't been able to install Windows. It's probably a video in its own right to kind of go through that. This has actually caused me a lot of headaches. Okay, so moving on to this big bookcase, which is currently housing all my games for all my systems. and is getting to the point where it is overflowing. So if I start from the top, got a bunch of PC titles here, some RPGs. I don't order this in any particular way at the moment. I do need to sort out how I'm going to do this. It's got a mixture of original releases like Under a Killing Moon and some budget releases, kind of whatever I can find in Sydney in Australia. Do have a few small boxes, but they're not really what I like to collect. I do want to call out up here the Sidewinder, which you might have seen earlier in the video, and this really cool Gameport steering wheel, which is kind of packed away. I've got both of those in thrift stores. The Sidewinder, which I do use down here with my P3, has awesome force feedback and is amazing with Combat Flight Simulator, or Free Space in fact. And I got that for 15 bucks, whilst the steering wheel I got for like 20 bucks. And it's great because it's a game port, so I can put it with both the 486 or the P3. Onto the second shelf, these are more big box PC games, things I found either in garage sales or on eBay or in thrift stores. I've also got a few of these original shareware discs, which surprisingly these discs actually still work. So this Jazz Jackrabbit, for example, that's what is playing on the 486. So I actually got it off of this disc, and some of these still work. I've also got a bunch of loose CD cases, and some of these. Somehow I started to pick up quite a few of these re-released DVD cases of LucasArts games, which was bit strange. I just kept finding them, so kept picking them up. Obviously they're not as good as getting the original big boxes, but yeah, somehow that's a sort of a weird sub collection that I've started. Anyway, if I go back there, you can see there are more discs back there as well. So yeah, so got quite a heap of games actually, once you take that into account. And then if I skip down a couple of levels, these are all the other PC big boxes which I've started to pick up lately more and more, and it's starting to take over this bookshelf. So going on to this shelf, this is my PS1 shelf. Got quite a few games. I really do like picking up games for the PS1. I never had one when I was younger. I had an N64. I just find the PS1 really quite cool to collect for. I do enjoy light gun games. I'm probably going to do a quick video on light gun games in their own right soon. Recently picked up this one, which I don't see too many people talking about it. It's a little bit like Time Crisis, but made by Infogrames and in the Wild West. So I was playing that quite a bit until my Guncom broke for my PS1, but that's another story for another day. So yeah, so these are my PS1 games. And then over here on the right, this is where I'm currently just piling up all my portables. So I've got a 3DS with a SD card thingo in there. I've got my old DS. Don't have too many games for this one. Don't play it that much. I think the last game I played on this was actually Chrono Trigger. Original Game Boy Color, which I picked up a few months back. Don't have too many games for that. I've only got 4. I've got Tetris plus Street Fighter, Wario Land 2, and Harvest Moon. And then, whoops, dropped the cartridge. I've got my yellow PSP. This one doesn't get as much playtime as I thought. Actually, I never had one of these originally. It's a little bit dusty. You can see there too. But I do have a bunch of games. I'll show you those in a minute. It's quite cool. I just find it a little bit uncomfortable in my hand. And then over here behind, you've got the PS Vita, which I did a video on that last week or the week before. I don't have hundreds of games, but I really do like playing the PS Vita. I just find it, out of all my portables, this is probably the one that I use the most. I did get Undertale recently, so I might do a video on that one, but yeah, I really do enjoy the PS Vita. Okay, and then on this shelf, I've got a bunch of PC games. I just paused there just because I got a lot of PC games, and the guy obviously really loved Madden. I didn't actually ask for them. I kind of said, oh, send me the other games, but don't bother about Madden, just because I was never really into these American football games. But he just threw them in anyway. So I've got 5 Madden games now for some reason. And going over here, I do have a bunch of old PC Zone magazines from 1995 through to about 1997, which are really fun for me to read through, because this is the time period when I used to buy these magazines. So I got these off of eBay, and for me it's interesting to read through, and it sparks memories of reading these magazines before too. If I move some of these PC games out of the way, then you'll see that behind these ones, this is what I have. So I'm not going to take them all off there, but you can see behind, this is where all my original Xbox games are. So since my PC big box collection is growing bigger and faster than my original Xbox, unfortunately it'll get like held behind here. I do have a few 3DS games. I just don't really play my 3DS that much, to be honest, so I've only got these 4 here. Maybe it's something, if I see more games coming up in the future, maybe I'll pick them up. Original Xbox, pretty cheap in Australia right now, and some of the games are really good, so I do like playing this. I like putting it on every so often. Time Splitters is particularly good, for example. Panzer Dragoon Order is good. I actually end up spending a lot of my time playing Forza Motorsport, probably just because I just really like racing games these days. I've just moved off some of my other PC big box games that was completely obscuring this row. This is my PS2 collection so far. Getting up there, it's pretty good collection. I think I've got some good ones in here. I've only got a couple of doubles. For example, I've got 2 copies of SOCOM. I think I've got 2 copies of Guncom 2, which is a gun game, because one of the discs didn't work. So I think I've also got a few others like that. But in general, it's a pretty good collection going on PS2. And that's why it's plugged into my TV at the moment. I just really like playing the PS2. There's so many games that are really cool on it. But I just never had a PlayStation 2 when it was big, so I think I just skipped a generation when I had my N64, and then I kind of was at an age where I was in London and I just wasn't that interested in playing games for about 5-6 years. Then I moved back to PC, kind of didn't really get back into consoles until much later. There's so many games in here, and because of like YouTube, I know it does raise the price of games, but it's a good way for me to find out about games that were really good in the day, and if I can find them for good prices, then I'll pick them up and play them, you know. So I've got a few good ones in here. I just really like the PlayStation 2. I just think it's really awesome. It's probably my most favourite retro console that I've got at the moment. Anyway, so that's my PS2 shelf, which in general is hidden behind all of these PC games generally. So this one here is my underused PlayStation 3 and PSP shelf, with also an old joystick, which actually I don't think it works. I'll probably be throwing that out at some point. But in here I do have some PS3 games. I started collecting a little bit. If I saw some good ones in charity shops, then I will pick them up, or if I know that they're at a good price, like on Gumtree or something, then I'll pick up some. You know, I don't play it enough for some reason. I just don't know. I started off, I did go through all the Uncharted games like last year, and I was like blown away. I did finally finish off the Call of Duty original Modern Warfare kind of trilogy, and that was amazing. Tried to get into Skyrim, but I thought it was better on PC, so I kind of didn't really get into it that much. I'm still waiting to go through this game because at the moment I'm playing through Heavy Rain, which I really like, and I loved The Wolf Among Us on Vita, so actually I'm really looking forward to playing this one at some point. I just need the time to get onto it. It's just because my PS3 is plugged into the main TV in the front room, and you know, my wife's watching TV there, so it's a bit hard for me to just go and monopolize it when I've got everything else in this room. Over here on this side, this is my old 486 laptop, which I did a video review, well, not a review, just a video on that one. And behind it is my small but pretty good bunch of PSP games. Picked up some interesting ones that I didn't originally know were on the PSP. I remember my little brother had Power Stone for the Dreamcast, and that's pretty fun to play. Got a few other ones. Padapon's cool. God of War's really good for the handheld. Surprisingly, Star Wars Battlefront's good. Yeah, so some of these are pretty good titles. I just don't play it as much because I guess I just play my Vita more. But it is good to crack this out every now and again and play it through. I do need to replace this though, because I got this from Cash Converters in the UK for a mighty £2. And little did I know when I got it home, like 10,000 miles away, there's like quite a big scratch on the actual CD, so this game doesn't load. So yeah, it's another one that not sure what to do with that really. Okay, and going on to the last shelf here. This is my Wii collection. Well, I've got these two minis that I got last year, which I plug into the TV on the front room. But I've got a bunch of Wii U, Wii, and a very small set of Gamecube games. I actually really like picking up games for the Wii because they're just not as well known, I guess, and there are a bunch of really good games on the Wii, and if I can get them for a good price, then I will. I typically like I really like light gun games in general, so you can see that I've picked up quite a few light gun type games. Like this one is really one of my absolute favorites. Dead Space Extraction is a pretty creepy but good light gun game. We've also got like House of the Dead as well. Those are awesome on the Wii. So the Wii is actually quite a good system actually, and very well misunderstood. But there are a heap of good games. Gamecube, if I see games that are a good price, then I'll pick them up. But in general, in Australia right now, Gamecube games are pretty expensive, so probably not picking up as many as I would like. Do have some cool ones though. Rogue Leader, Super Smash, Mario Kart, or this is a fake cover. But I do like picking up the Wii U games. Wii U is actually a really fun system. I haven't got a Switch right now, so you know, I just play that. I guess one of the games that I really like on Wii U, you guys have played this, Tank. That's pretty good fun. I'm looking forward to when my son's a little bit older and we can play that together. So yeah. Alright, so back to this panoramic shot. I'll have to tidy up all my games that I've just had to put on the floor to get to the back. I do need to upgrade my shelving. I think I've got a bit of wall space here, so maybe I can put up some shelves, maybe put the PC games there. I do have to be careful because you don't want the UV from the sun to damage, especially for the PC big boxes. You don't want them to be sun faded. So we tend to have the blinds and curtains drawn most of the time anyway, because we're on the main road over there. But yeah, this is what I've got at the moment. I'd like to hear about what kind of setups you guys have got. You know, if you've got any suggestions, or if you've seen any particular games that I've got that you think are really cool, or even if you think there's other games that I should get, or just anything really. Just thought I'd share with you what I've been able to pick up over the last couple of years since starting collecting here in Sydney. I think I've found some cool pieces, and I'm just really enjoying collecting and playing some of these old games. So anyway, let me know what you think. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video in any way, then consider giving it a like or sharing it. Or if you want to see more, then why not subscribe and give me a comment, and I'll talk to you again. Alright, see you later. Bye.